let's get right into it, or dive into it.
That's highly usable.
This is water. Hey everyone, I'm Jenna.
And I'm Kendall.
And we're Gearheads here at Backcountry, and today we're going to be talking to you about how to wash and care for your GORE-TEX products.
Be sure to check out our outerwear guide over here to see everything about the new kits for the year, and if you guys want, you can see the timestamps below to skip around this video.
Our first order of business is kind of clarifying what's the difference between waterproof and water resistant.
Yes, good question. This one comes up all the time. So for a water resistant product, it's going to be a fabric treated with a water resistant coating, and this is going to allow water to bead off initially, but it's not going to last as long as a waterproof garment. A waterproof garment is going to use either 2 or 3 layers of fabric stacked on top of each other, usually in a combination with the water repellent coating, and this is going to keep water beading off of it for a much longer time. It also means that this material is a little bit thicker, and it's going to be more durable as well.
All right, so we kind of talked about the layers, and that has to do with waterproof. So maybe let's kind of stick there for a second, and let's talk about the difference between 2L and 3L in waterproof.
Most definitely. So it's pretty self-explanatory. With your 2L, you're only going to have 2 layers of fabric stacked on top of each other. One of these is often going to be some kind of waterproof laminate or membrane technology. This is where you're going to see something like GORE-TEX. And then the 3 layer is just going to have an additional layer. This will often show up as a backer. So it's going to give you a more durable performance.
We were talking about kind of how these products will have a treatment to them. I know it's normally a DWR treatment, so do you think you can kind of run us through what DWR treatments are, what it stands for? Just give us kind of the rundown on that.
For sure. DWR stands for Durable Water Repellent Coating. This is essentially a spray-on coating in most scenarios, and it's going to give you that super satisfying visual of the bead of water dropping right off the fabric.
One thing to note as well is that with these products, waterproof, water resistant, anything with GORE-TEX, you're really going to want to store it in a dry area. You don't want that stuff to just stay wet throughout the season. I know we're all kind of guilty of leaving stuff in our packs, you know, going from winter to summer. But you really want to make sure to take it out, leave it dry, have it in a dry space. It's going to be the best for its longevity.
Totally, yeah. We recommend having like a dedicated clothing rack all winter for your ski stuff. I think that's the best way to do it. Just hang it up right when you get home. It'll be dry and ready for use next time. And that brings us on to our next question that we get all the time. It's how often should you wash it? And this really depends on how often you're going to use it. I think that's key. Stains are going to be a big factor. If your stuff has some stains on it, that would be a good time to wash it. And if you're managing to keep it clean, but you still feel like it needs some extra care for waterproofing, then we recommend like once to twice a season. It's not really something that you have to do all the time. That's kind of our baseline recommendation, unless you're someone who's like really getting after it, maybe like chasing more than 50 days a year on snow, then you might want to think about washing more often.
But always a really good question for a gearhead. If you don't know when you should wash your gear, maybe talk to one of them, see if they can tell you the right time to wash your stuff.
Yeah, always feel free to reach out. And with that, we're going to get into how to wash your GORE-TEX stuff. GORE-TEX has really detailed recommendations on how to take care of their stuff, which is a great reference that you can use online. According to GORE-TEX, you can simply wash your apparel with any liquid detergent and tumble dry on low to reactivate your waterproofing. So that's kind of like the bare minimum for how to take care of your stuff. That being said, we've had really good success with the Nikwax brand detergents that we sell on our website, and they are great for kind of re-waterproofing gear that's really been through the ringer. It's a detergent that is specifically designed for technical apparel, and so it does a really good job of getting it clean as well. So we're gonna run you guys through 2 of our favorite kinds of Nikwax.
We washed a couple of our GORE-TEX products, and for this, we actually ended up using 2 different Nikwax detergents. The first one is the green cap, and it's a cleaning detergent for technical apparel. Its main function is basically to clean the apparel, but it does also restore the water repellency, and it kind of revives some of that breathability. So that was the first product that we used. And then the second one is the Nikwax TX.Direct Purple Cap. And that one is a wash-in waterproofer. It's a detergent for technical apparel. Its main function is to add the waterproofing, but it also helps with the breathability. And so these 2 things combined really work great to both clean and restore the waterproofing to your gear.
Totally. With newer products, you often only need the Tech Wash, the green cap detergent, but we've found if something is a little bit more beat up, using both of these together really is like the perfect solution and is going to bring your stuff back to brand new.
We are basically just going to run you through how to use both detergents in the process that we did to get our gear clean.
Totally, and if your outerwear is a little bit newer and you feel like you only need to use the tech wash, just be sure to skip the step in the process where we add the TX.Direct wash.
Exactly. GORE-TEX does recommend that you use a front-loading washer, but if you're in a pinch and you only have a top-loading washer, on the Nikwax bottles is really good directions on how to use both types of washers when washing your gear.
Totally, it tells you how many garments they recommend to use to wash at a time. In our case, we were using a front-loading washer, so we gathered 2 GORE-TEX apparel pieces. It was a Backcountry cardiac jacket and cardiac bibs.
Yep. Exactly. So it was my kit that we were using, and even originally we thought that we were going to wash both of ours at the same time, but we read the directions. Turns out you can only do 2, which was really good to know. Step 1 is using that tech wash, which again is the green cap. And so with that, you're going to toss your garments on into the washer. You're going to use about 3.5 ounces of the detergent, and for everyone else's sake, we decided to measure it out. We thought that we could measure in the cap. Unfortunately, you can't. But we found that basically about 2.5 capfuls equals 3.5 ounces.
Totally. So if you don't want to get your measuring cup dirty, you can just do 2.5 capfuls and you'll be all set.
And so put the detergent in, you can put it in the tray, you could put it straight on the garments. We didn't find that there was any difference between the two. In this case, we put them in the tray, shut the tray, and then the washer settings are something else that is actually quite important to this process.
Definitely. So I think the first thing to do when you want to decide on your washer settings is reference the tags on your apparel.
In our case, I'll let you know what we did for washer settings. It's going to be on a normal setting for the washer with a warm water temperature, a normal spin cycle, and then we did just add in an extra rinse there just to kind of get the product out, and it does say that on the bottles as well to add an extra rinse to your cycle.
Right on, makes sense. After that cycle is complete, it's going to be time to add your TX.Direct wash.
And make sure to do this when the product is still wet. Don't dry it in between the two.
That's right, yeah, you can just go back-to-back washes here. You're going to want to make sure to add 2.5 capfuls, so that's another 3.5 ounces. And the washer settings are almost the same for the direct wash. The only difference is that you're going to want to go for a slower spin cycle. So again, it's going to be normal washer setting, warm water temperature, low spin cycle, and then the extra rinse.
And so once you get it through that second cycle, you're gonna wanna move it over to the dryer. Air dry, tumble dry, low is what you should always be doing for your GORE-TEX products in the dryer. And the dry process is actually quite important to the overall process.
Right. That drying process will also help reactivate the DWR.
GORE-TEX actually recommends that you tumble dry like for maybe a little bit longer than you think. I believe it says 20 minutes longer than like when the actual product dries. So for GORE-TEX in particular, the drying step is really important, and there's nothing like fresh GORE-TEX to start the ski season, so we highly recommend it. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And if you have any questions, reach out to a Gearhead, and until then, we will see you out there.
You.